Today I'm sharing how to transform thrifted finds into stunning framed art in these easy makeovers. There's something so satisfying about taking old discarded items and turning them into beautiful pieces of art that are high-end and elevate your home. So come on in and stay a while as we transform our thrifted finds in these easy DIYs. Hello and welcome. I am so glad that you're joining me today. My name is Lisa. I have some thrifted DIYs for you. They are going to be so easy, and I hope to inspire you and give you some creative ideas on ways that you can upcycle and make over your thrifted finds. I love to go thrifting and find my thrifted items at a variety of places: Goodwill, estate sales, garage sales. You can find everything from old paintings and frames to newer versions of the same items. The key is to keep an open mind and to think outside the box when it comes to what can be transformed into beautiful pieces of art. I think sometimes it just takes a little bit of creativity and some TLC, and you can turn the most mundane items into stunning pieces. They're going to make your home look high-end and designer without spending a whole lot of money. The thrill of the hunt is part of the fun, and the sense of satisfaction you get from creating something beautiful from scratch is unbeatable. I have found some amazing thrifted items recently, including some vintage frames, note cards, and porcelain tiles. I'll need some basic materials to go along with it, but the process is going to be relatively simple and easy. It doesn't have to be a lot of hard work to make over your thrifted items. My idea for this first thrifted DIY makeover started when I found these $2 hand-painted porcelain tiles at an estate sale. I also found these less than desirable square frames at a church rummage sale for 50 cents each. I bought them at separate times but knew that they would go together perfectly. They just needed a little bit of attention to make them look fabulous. These square frames were a great shape and had good detailing, but that brown color was not very attractive. Nothing that a can of black flat spray paint can't fix. I gave each frame 2 thin coats of this black enamel spray paint, and it covered them beautifully. Once the frames are completely dry, we are ready to start assembling everything. I have some scrapbook paper. This was in my stash that I already have, but you can see at Hobby Lobby there is a plethora of choices, so pick out a design that suits your home interior. The frame has these plexiglass fronts to them. I'm going to disassemble everything because that is going to make it easy to cut my paper to size. I repeated the process and cut out another piece of paper for my second frame. I'm going to be using double-sided Scotch tape to adhere my paper to the front of the plexiglass. You want to make sure that you use enough tape to securely place the paper on and keep it onto the glass, because we are going to be attaching our porcelain tiles to the front of this paper. So your paper is not underneath the glass, it is on top of it, and we're using that plexiglass as the hard backing. To keep the pattern straight and the paper smooth, I'm starting at the top and then filling in with tape as I move along towards the bottom. This way I don't get any wrinkles and my pattern again stays lined up. The next step is to reassemble your frame just like you would any other picture. I'm including all of the backings into my frame just so I have them for future projects if I need them. To secure everything into the frame, I am using some heavy-duty packing tape. I had these 15-pound picture hanging command strips already in my decorating toolbox. So 15 pounds is well overkill for this, but that's what I had on hand. I am going to fold them over, sticking the Velcro together. I feel like this works best when you are working with these picture hanging strips. I've cleaned my tile really well. The back is porous, so I'm hoping that it sticks and stays very secure when I hang this up. After attaching that command strip, I want to carefully line up and measure to get the equal distance around my border so that it's not lopsided and crooked. After I do that, it is as simple as sticking that command strip down. I repeated that process for the second tile and frame, and I have beautiful custom vintage artwork for my kitchen. If you've been here a while, you know I have a lot of Mackenzie Childs courtly check and black and white accents, so this is going to be perfect for adding color and charm to my kitchen. This second thrifted DIY project was created out of necessity. I found this $15 solid wood frame with this beautiful landscape picture in it at an estate sale for $15. In my home office where I am currently sitting recording my voiceover, I needed something to dampen the sound in the room. It was a little bit too echoey. So when I found this frame, I knew that I could create a cork message board that would dampen the sound, but it would also be cute and pretty. I love the off-white linen border on the frame, but I don't really care for this coloring of the actual frame itself. It's a little bit dated to me. I have taped off that linen fabric, and we're going to go outside and use some metallic gold spray paint to tone down that distressed kind of shabby chic look. This is a great frame. It is solid wood, very heavy and substantial. I cannot believe I picked it up for only $15. This is my favorite gold spray paint, so I already had it on hand, so the spray paint cost me nothing. Also, my son, when I took everything apart, he decided he wanted the landscape, and he built him a custom frame that fit his aesthetic. So every bit of this frame was utilized in a creative and fun way for several makeovers. This cork roll is from Hobby Lobby. I bought it for $11.99. I got lucky that it was the exact width I needed, and so I was able to just roll it out and trim it off to the length. I purchased Loctite spray adhesive, heavy duty 300, to adhere my cork to the wood backing of the frame. This stuff, you definitely want to do it outside, and you want to protect for overspray. It comes out kind of looking like spider webs. If you've never used this, you coat both sides of what you are sticking together and read the directions for the material you're working with. But I was able to stick it down. Make sure you get it right the first time, because there is no peeling it back and repositioning it. So I worked on half of my cork board. I put a board down the middle to keep everything in place and adhered one side, and then once that was secure, I moved the board and I worked on securing the other half of my message cork board. This was my first time working with this Loctite, and I will say it was easy and it was efficient, and I highly recommend it. I have used it on several other projects around my house since. So I was super excited to find a new product and method of adhering stuff together. Before gluing the cork down to the board, I gave myself plenty of overlap at the ends. I'm just trimming that off with an X-Acto knife, and then I will reassemble my frame using the little clips that came with it. Everything went back seamlessly. I did have my husband help me attach a hanger to the back because the picture did not have one, and I just did that with some picture hooks and some hanging wire that was heavy grade to hold the weight of this frame. To hang it, we used our laser level. That made it super easy to center it on my desk. So now I have the perfect cork board. It's cute, it's beautiful, and it helps to dampen that sound. We are going to create a Van Gogh artwork uniquely Lisa style in this third Thrifted DIY makeover. It rarely happens like this, but it was my lucky day. At the same estate sale for $2, I found these Van Gogh postcards. You can tell by the old TJ Maxx sticker that these are probably vintage. Out in the garage, they had boxes and boxes of frames, and I dug around in there and found these two frames. They are going to be the perfect size to fit my Van Gogh note cards in and create this beautiful art. The gold frame had a few chips in it, but I have an easy fix for that. Don't let little minor flaws deter you from a great thrift find. Look for things like these postcards, look for books that have beautiful artwork in them, and you can create your own one-of-a-kind framed art pieces with your thrifted finds. I also got lucky with this note card set that there were just a couple of them used up. So I picked out my two favorites to put here in the frames, but I also can use these for thank you notes and little notes to my friends and family. So again, nothing goes to waste when you're doing these DIY projects. The black frame didn't have any kind of backing to it, so I'm using this cardboard to measure out and cut a piece so that I can close in and secure the note card into the frame. It's really simple to complete this frame. I'm using some Scotch tape just to secure the note card into place. There was a little bit of a gap at the top and bottom, and I didn't want the note card sliding down. Then I'm inserting the cardboard backing and using some heavy-duty packing tape to seal it all in. And the black frame is finished, beautiful, easy, and simple. For the golden frame, it had those chips in it. I am using some antique gold rub and buff on a Q-tip, just touching up those few spots. It's really simple. You can get this rub and buff in different finishes. If you've never used it before, I highly suggest it. It is my go-to for a lot of my thrifted DIY makeovers. Once that's dry, it's very simple. You disassemble the frame. I cleaned it and then inserted my note card and put it all back together. Once again, using that heavy duty packing tape to seal that cardboard in the back. It really can't get any easier than this. I really just wanted to highlight how you can put together found artwork like the Van Gogh note cards with the vintage frames to create that custom look of high-end home decor in your home, but doing it on an extremely small budget. I would absolutely love to hear about thrifted DIYs you've done to create beautiful artwork of your own. So let us know down in the comments and give us some ideas. I fell in love with with this vintage framed embroidery. This is truly a work of art with many, many hours poured into it. It was $10 at an estate sale, but I got it on half price day, so I only paid $5. I loved everything about this except the frame. I did not want to reframe it though, because I did love the embroidery with that hunter green mat. Whoever originally made this went to the extra expense and care to have it custom framed. So I am just going to do a quick little DIY on the frame and bring it from the 1990s into the current modern day, keeping that grandma core old vintage feel to it though. That gold around the frame, it had that speckled look to it that was very 1990s. I taped off the glass and then I'm using my antique rub and buff with a gloved finger because this stuff is so messy if you don't protect your skin. And I'm just going to lightly rub that antique gold along all of the gold accents of the frame. This is going to tone down that speckled look. I am not wanting to cover it completely where there's no depth and texture to that gold speckling. I just want to knock it back so that it is more modern and fresh looking than what it originally is. You can see here in the close-up the difference that antique gold made. It knocked back that black speckledy look, but still kept a lot of the character. I did not tape off the burgundy that was around the frame because you're going to see here I am using some black chalk paint to paint that black. Now, I probably could have taped this off, but I like to just carefully cut in. When you're doing projects like this, do what works for you. If you can be neat and tidy, then just freehand it. If not, I always suggest using tape or a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard to block off the area that you don't want to get paint on. I feel like when you are precise and careful with your DIYs, that is what gives your home decor that you've made over a high-end look. If you're a little bit sloppy, then it definitely looks like something you did at home, and that's okay too. But for me personally, I like to make it as professional as possible so that it gives that higher-end look and designer quality to my pieces. What are your thoughts on that? Do you like to be precise and accurate, or are you okay with slight imperfections? Let me know in the comments. There is no right or wrong. It's just a personality thing, and I'm just a curious person by nature and love to know. For the best coverage, I added a second coat of the black chalk paint. If this were a high-touch, frequently handled item, I would definitely seal it with a clear wax, but since this is hanging on the wall undisturbed, I skipped that step today. I love to add black accents when I'm decorating in my home decor, so choosing black to cover up the burgundy in this frame was the perfect choice for me. You can use any colors that suit your aesthetic when you are making over your artwork. There are so many options out there, and with a little imagination and creativity, you can totally make over and transform a $5 piece of thrifted art into something new and beautiful. For this fifth DIY, I'm going to show you how I turned this tired word art into a beautiful landscape canvas. I have had this for many years. It was hanging in my entryway. When I pulled it down, I stuck it in the back of the closet, and when I was cleaning it out, about to donate it, I decided I'm going to turn it into art. I bought this landscape print off of Temu, and what I love about it, it has that natural canvas texture to it, so it looks very high end. I'm going to use it to create that new canvas on this piece. I have some old paint left over from my back hallway. I knew that the words were going to show through that landscape if I did not paint them. So I'm taping off the very edge of the canvas so that I can just paint the words. The great thing about this landscape is it is almost the exact color as the canvas originally, so I will be able to leave the edge of the canvas the same color and it's going to blend seamlessly when I'm done. There's nothing special or any special technique to this. I'm just doing a thin, even layer that is smooth. It required 2 coats of paint to cover up all of the lettering. When it is completely dried, I can remove that tape, and you can see now that all the words are covered and that blue border wraps around the side of the canvas. That's what I was talking about earlier, that will make it to where it goes perfectly with the landscape print. Before I take this outside to use my Loctite adhesive spray to attach the canvas, I want to cut off that white border that is around the landscape. Outside is where you definitely want to use this Loctite 300 heavy duty spray adhesive. It is very messy, and I forgot to record where I used painter's tape to tape down the landscape to the canvas so that it would not move around. I did that on half of the canvas so that I could work efficiently on one side, making sure that I had spray on both the canvas and on the landscape print. You want to spray both sides and then very carefully smooth down your picture to the canvas. You get one shot at this. There is no way you can pull it back and reposition it, so go slowly and carefully. I then removed the painter's tape and repeated the process on the other side. This was so easy. I made over this canvas that was torn and worn out into beautiful new landscape artwork, and I saved some trash from the landfill, so that always feels good. The transformation of these thrifted pieces is a testament to the power of DIY and upcycling. With a little bit of imagination and some basic materials, you can create something truly unique and beautiful. To create your own stunning framed artwork makeovers, just remember to keep it simple, be creative, and have fun. If you've been inspired to create your own thrifted art makeovers, be sure to share them with me in the comments below. And if you're looking for more DIY inspiration, be sure to check out my other videos on my channel for some amazing thrifted DIY projects to try at home. I'm so glad you stopped by today for these thrifted DIY makeovers. If you enjoyed the video, I always appreciate that thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to do so. I hope you will come back for the next video. Until then, have a wonderful and blessed day.